So I know you've heard that business is built on relationships, but do you know how to build relationships with people who eventually become the best referral partners or could even become clients? And what does it even mean to show up and serve someone first? Then keep watching. Hi, I'm Chin, and I'm here to teach you how to build a juicy business and a juicy life. So when you first meet someone, either at a networking event or through a friend or a colleague, the first thing you want to do is to have a conversation. And you want to have a conversation outside of that event, so like outside of the networking event, a follow-up conversation. And so you get on the phone with them, and the only intention you have is to be curious about what they're working on in their business or in their life, what they're up to, and then also show up to support them or be of service. So a great question you can ask them to start the conversation is, hey Don, so what are you currently working on? What's next in your business? What's up for you? And then you can ask a follow-up question, which is, so are there any challenges that you're dealing with, or is there any support that you need in your business? And so based on how they answer those two questions, you want to do one of a few things. Number one, you can offer some resources for them, like you can offer a website designer if they're looking to rebuild their website. You can offer them a referral if they're currently dealing with some contract issues. You can, refer them to a lawyer or some legal advice. So giving them a resource for them to be able to accomplish whatever task or project that they're working on in their business. Number two is you can refer a client to them, especially after they've shared with you what it is that they're up to and what it is that they actually do in their business. A third thing you can do is you can invite them to future business events that you go to. And when you invite them, you can network with them, and you can even endorse their services, which will feel really, really good for them. 4 is you can give them some insight. If they're dealing with some challenging situation or they need some advice about something, if they're open to it, you can always ask them if they want a little bit of feedback. Or just talk to them about life. Have a juicy conversation about what's important to each of you, and just show up and validate, acknowledge, and support each other. So now that you've had this introductory conversation, you can do one of 3 things. You can end the conversation if you feel like, okay, cool, I gave them some resources, I gave them some support, and now there's like a natural conclusion to this conversation. Number 2, if they could be a potential client, in other words, if they have the problem that you solve, then you could invite them into a discovery session or a consultation with you. And third, ask them if there's anything else that you could support them with. So you may notice that I did not insert anything about asking them for support or asking them to send you referrals. Here's the thing, if you show up and serve people, if you show up and are generous and are just an incredible, amazing human being, they're going to be so moved by you. They're going to want to refer people to you. And those are going to be the best referrals ever. Now, a lot of people ask me, how do you move a conversation around being curious about somebody and, asking them what they're dealing with? How do you move that conversation or transition it into inviting them into a consultation or a discovery session with you? So that's a really good question. And I'll give you 2 ways to do that. So example number 1, you can try this. You know what, Chin? I can't help but notice that you're dealing with the things that I actually specialize in my business. And I feel like it would be a disservice to you if I didn't ask you this. But would you like to sit down and have a conversation with me about how I could support you in getting A, B, and C? What that would look like is we would sit down, I would ask you, and then you go on and share a little bit about what your strategy session, your consultation, or your discovery session looks like. And example B can go something like this. Hey Chin, is it all right if I ask you a bold question? I can't help but notice that you're my ideal client. And I'm wondering if you would be interested in sitting down with me and having a conversation about how I can support you in A, B, and C, and then so on and so forth. So I hope you found that helpful, and I'd love to hear from you. What tips from this video are you going to use to really build those business relationships so you can really grow your business? So if you love this video, like it, share it, help the world have better relationships. And thank you again so much for watching. I so appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Oh, God. Model it after the previous, to be of service to them.